Kimmi's court victory against Maurice has been nothing short of a jaw-dropping revelation. For years, fans watched the picture-perfect couple on Love and Marriage Huntsville, seemingly in sync both in business and in life. Kimmi, who had often stood in Maurice's shadow, was now stepping into the spotlight in a way nobody saw coming. The courtroom, traditionally a place for legal battles and justice, turned into Kimmi's stage for a powerful comeback that left everyone stunned. Kimmi wasn't just battling in court for financial compensation, but she was fighting for her dignity, her future, and her freedom. What unfolded in the courtroom wasn't just a simple divorce battle, it was a game-changer that would shift the dynamics of their relationship and possibly the entire Love and Marriage Huntsville show. After years of being a supportive partner to Maurice, both in their personal life and their business ventures, Kimmi discovered the shocking truth about what Maurice had been doing behind her back. Slowly, small cracks in their relationship began to show. The picture-perfect couple, once admired for their unity and strength, started to seem distant. Kimmi noticed Maurice making major financial decisions without her knowledge and began to feel like she was being excluded from the very business ventures they once built together, but it wasn't just about feeling left out. Kimmi's suspicions grew as she discovered strange financial transactions in their bank accounts, large sums of money being moved around, and documents with her signature on them, though she had no memory of signing them. When she confronted Maurice, he brushed her concerns aside, telling her it was just business and nothing to worry about. But as time passed, Kimmi couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. Her gut told her that there was more to the story than what Maurice was letting on. Determined to get to the truth, Kimmi made a bold decision. She hired a private forensic accountant to look into their finances. It was a move that would change everything. The investigation uncovered a pattern of deception that was far beyond a simple misunderstanding. Documents showed that Maurice had transferred properties into his relatives' names, making it seem like he had been hiding assets from Kimmi. There were also forged signatures and contracts that gave Maurice sole ownership of properties they had previously agreed to co-own. It became crystal clear that Maurice wasn't just careless with finances, he had been intentionally keeping things from Kimmi. This wasn't just poor bookkeeping, it was a betrayal of the worst kind. Kimmi realized that the man she had supported for years, the man she had helped build a life with, had been lying to her and deliberately cutting her out of the very empire they had built together. And now, she knew she had no choice but to take action. She couldn't stay silent any longer. Kimmi reached out to a lawyer who helped her navigate the complex situation. She carefully collected all the documents, bank records, forged signatures, contracts, and other evidence of Maurice's shady activities. It was clear that Maurice had been trying to cover his tracks, but Kimmi was one step ahead. She knew that in order to protect herself, she had to lay a solid foundation for a legal battle that would shake Maurice to his core. Once she had everything in order, Kimmi made her move. She filed for legal separation from Maurice, accusing him of hiding assets and committing fraud. The legal battle that ensued was a whirlwind. Maurice was blindsided. One day, he was living his life like everything was normal, and the next, he found himself in the middle of a lawsuit he never saw coming. The court case was intense, with charges of fraud, forged documents, and financial misconduct. Maurice's defense crumbled under the weight of the evidence Kimmi presented. In court, Kimmi wasn't just a wife testifying against her husband, she was a woman reclaiming her power. Her testimony was sharp, direct, and filled with the raw truth of her experience. She wasn't just recounting the betrayal, she was standing tall and declaring that she wouldn't let Maurice's actions define her any longer. The judge ruled in Kimmi's favor on multiple counts, awarding her a significant financial settlement and partial ownership in one of Maurice's key business ventures. It was a moment of victory, not just for Kimmi, but for anyone who had ever been betrayed and doubted. The impact of Kimmi's legal win rippled through both the public and her own personal life. Fans were amazed by her strength and resilience. The way she handled the situation with grace while still standing firm was inspiring. On social media, people rallied behind her, applauding her for taking control of her life and standing up for herself. One fan wrote, "Kimmi has been the real one. She carried herself with grace and still came out on top. That's how you do it." Another commented, Maurice thought he could play Kimmi like she was naive, but she flipped the script on him and came out swinging. It was clear that people respected Kimmi for the way she had turned the tables on Maurice and taken back control of her future, but the court victory wasn't just about financial restitution. It was also about Kimmi reclaiming her life, her self-worth, and her independence. For so long, she had been in Maurice's shadow, supporting him and standing by him through thick and thin. Now, she was stepping into her own light. The questions started to shift from, what's next for Kimmi and Maurice, to, what's next for Kimmi? With the legal battle behind her, the future seemed wide open. Would she continue her business ventures? Was there a future for her with Maurice, or would a separation or divorce be on the horizon? Fans were especially curious about what this victory would mean for Kimmi's role on Love and Marriage Huntsville. Her legal win had changed everything, and the dynamic on the show was sure to shift. How would her relationship with Maurice, and with the other cast members, evolve? Maurice, on the other hand, found himself facing serious legal consequences. The public perception of him had taken a huge hit, and it seemed unlikely that he could repair the damage anytime soon. His legal team might try to appeal the court ruling, but it was clear that Kimmi's victory had rocked his world to its core. As the dust settled, it became evident that Kimmi wasn't just surviving Maurice's betrayal, she was thriving. She had used this experience as a catalyst for her own growth, and now she was ready to take on whatever came next. The world was watching, and everyone was eager to see what Kimmi would do next. Maurice, on the other hand, was left to pick up the pieces of his shattered world. His reputation had been tarnished, his financial stability shaken, and his personal life in turmoil. Fans had watched him play the role of a doting husband and successful businessman, but the truth came out in the end. His actions had consequences, and Kimmi's victory in court was the ultimate reminder that the truth always comes to light. For Kimmi, this victory wasn't just a legal win, it was a reclaiming of her voice, her power, and her future. The courtroom had become her stage, and she had come out victorious. As she walked away from that battle, she knew that she was no longer the woman hiding in the shadows. She had stepped into the spotlight, and the world was watching. Now, with her future wide open, Kimmi's next move is anyone's guess. What will she do next? Will she continue to build her own empire? Will she find love again? One thing is for sure, Kimmi is no longer just the supportive wife behind the scenes. She's a woman who has taken control of her life, and nothing will stand in her way. The story of Kimmi's courtroom victory is one of resilience, empowerment, and the reminder that sometimes, the greatest victories come when you stand up for yourself and reclaim your own future. As for Maurice, his future remains uncertain. The damage done to his reputation may be irreversible, and his personal and professional life may never be the same. The consequences of his actions are clear, and it seems like there's no going back for him. Whether he tries to salvage his public image or continues down a path of deception, one thing is clear, the power dynamic has shifted, and Kimmi is now in control of her destiny. As the dust settles from this dramatic legal battle, fans are left wondering, what will Kimmi do next? With a clear path forward, the world is watching as she continues to build her future, one step at a time.